Welcome to this explainer covering the Wealth Playbook, Overcoming Financial Anxiety. Now, if you're tuning in right now, chances are you felt that heavy weight of financial overwhelm. Maybe you're working incredibly hard, putting in the hours, but at the end of the month, the money just isn't there. And you know that quiet anxiety is creeping in? Well, consider this our locker room before the big game. I want you to take a deep breath and just leave all the guilt at the door, because today we're taking back control. We are going to completely break down the mindset, the defense, and the offense of wealth building, step by step.
So, let's kick things off with this incredibly provocative question from financial thinker Morgan Housel. Before we even look at a spreadsheet, we have to look in the mirror. Housel notes that it's so easy to chase money just because it's measurable, right? But what's really happening is we often use spending to cope with stress, boredom, or we're chasing this vague, totally undefined idea of happiness. We buy things thinking they'll somehow fix a deeper dissatisfaction. But true wealth building begins by realizing that the psychological hole you're feeling, it literally cannot be filled by swiping a credit card.
Okay, let's dive into this. To actually answer that question, the very first thing we have to attack is this heavy chain of negative self-talk. So many of us carry around this defining identity, just repeating to ourselves, I'm just bad with money. But as money expert Ramit Sethi gently points out, we need to replace that shame immediately. Actually, scratch that. You aren't intrinsically bad with money. You simply haven't learned the skills yet. Wealth building is not some innate talent you're born with. It's a highly learnable skill. And the best part is, you're actively learning it right now.
To build on that, we need a simple but absolutely radical vocabulary shift. Think about it. When you say, I can't afford that, you instantly position yourself as a victim of your circumstances. It feels restrictive, it feels depressing. But instead, try saying, I'm prioritizing something else right now. Boom. Instantly, you take back your power. You are making an active, conscious choice over your financial destiny. You aren't deprived. You are laser-focused on a much bigger goal.
And that brings us to a brilliant quote from Morgan Housel. You absolutely must define what enough means for you right now. If your definition of a good life is simply having more, you're going to spend your entire life on a treadmill. You'll be constantly moving the goalpost and always feeling behind. Is enough having your bills paid on time? Is it having $1,000 tucked away so a flat tire doesn't ruin your entire month? Define it, own it, and let go of that exhausting game of comparing your lifestyle to everyone else's.
All right, let's shift into the strategic part of our session. Part 1, the defense. Auditing your money and stopping the bleed. We're reframing budgeting not as a punishment, but as your core defense strategy to protect your hard-earned cash.
And this brilliantly illustrates what we're actually up against to build a strong defense: hyperbolic discounting. I know, it's a super fancy behavioral economics term, but it describes a very human problem: present bias. It's exactly why we choose the instant dopamine hit of buying a trendy gadget or grabbing takeout today, even when we logically know we should be saving for a much larger reward down the road, like buying a home or retiring comfortably. Our brains are literally hardwired to just scream, I want it now.
Which means this present bias leads us directly into our next major trap: lifestyle creep. This is the silent wealth killer for sure. It happens when you finally get that raise or land a much better job, and immediately, almost without thinking, you upgrade your apartment, you lease a nicer car, you start eating at fancier restaurants, your income goes up, but your spending goes up in perfect lockstep. And this is exactly the trap that keeps 99% of people, even high earners, living paycheck to paycheck. So how do we actually stop the bleed? Tiffany Alich's concept of the money list really changes the game here. Notice she doesn't even call it a budget, because let's face it, that word sounds restrictive. You write down everywhere your money goes without a single ounce of judgment. Estimate the costs, find those hidden subscription leaks, and take back control. As she brilliantly puts it, a budget is just like a good mom. It's not there to punish you, it's there to safely tell you yes to the things you actually love.
All right, energy up. Now that we've audited the problem, we're moving into part 2, the playbook. We are putting concrete, actionable rules into play.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the sheer simplicity of this number: 48. This represents the 48-hour waiting period rule. Moving forward, for every single non-essential purchase you are tempted to make, you're going to enforce a mandatory 48-hour pause.
This rule is your ultimate weapon against that instant gratification we were just talking about. By forcing a 48-hour cooldown period, you completely break the hypnotic spell of impulse buying. It's so simple. You delay the purchase, you starve the emotional impulse, and you protect your long-term goal. Most of the time, I promise you, after 2 days, that burning desire to buy just magically evaporates, putting you firmly back in the driver's seat of your spending.
Now, once you pause those impulse buys, Ramit Sethi's conscious spending plan offers a brilliant framework to relieve your financial anxiety. He divides your money into 4 buckets. Roughly 50 to 60% goes to your fixed living costs, 10% to savings, 10% to long-term investments, and here's the absolute magic part: 20% is for guilt-free spending. Once your defense and your future are fully funded, you can spend that 20% slice on whatever brings you joy: lattes, movies, shoes, without a single drop of financial anxiety or shame.
But what about those big, terrifying financial goals? Like saving an emergency fund or a down payment. The secret here is chunking. If you stare at a massive $20,000 goal, you'll probably freeze up and quit. It's just too big. So you break it down into a more manageable milestone of $1,000. Still too big. Break it down to a daily habit of just $5 a day. That's literally the cost of a coffee. Suddenly, building wealth isn't an impossible mountain to climb. It's just a simple, daily, highly achievable milestone.
And that brings us to the final phase, part 3, the offense.
execution and daily habits. Because let's be real, mindset and strategy mean absolutely nothing without consistent daily execution.
To execute effectively, you've got to understand the battlefield. Financial expert David Bach warns that we live in the automatic economy. Every single app on your phone, every one-click checkout, every little subscription is a frictionless magnet designed to quietly drain your wealth. Bach's warning is chilling, but it's so necessary. If you don't have an automated plan for your money, trust me, someone else already has a plan to take it.
So the crucial point is, we have to use automation to our advantage through the pay yourself first system. You want to remove human willpower entirely. It's the ultimate secret to building long-term wealth. Step 1, set up automatic transfers the very day your paycheck hits. Step 2, route money directly into savings and investments before you even have a chance to look at it. Step 3, pay your bills. Step 4, you live on whatever is left. If you automate your wealth building, you physically cannot forget to save. It's brilliant.
Author Jim Mathers points out a fascinating divide here to reinforce his philosophy. The 99% take $100 and instantly trade it for a depreciating consumer good. But the 1%, they take that exact same $100 and buy an asset, an investment that will literally pay them while they sleep. This shift right here is how you transform yourself from being a passive targeted consumer into an active owner of your financial future.
Let's move to and see how this builds into the daily habits of the 1%. They compound into massive success. They audit spending without shame. They strictly enforce that 48-hour rule to protect their capital. They actively reframe negative thoughts like, I can't afford it, to I am prioritizing my future. And above all, they invest, even if it's just that $5 a day, harnessing the massive, unstoppable power of compound interest.
Well, we've reached the end of the locker room speech. You now have the mindset, you have the defense to stop the bleeding, you have the offense to automate your growth. You know exactly what it takes to break free from financial anxiety. The playbook is literally in your hands right now. The only question left is, will you step out onto the field and use it to take back your freedom today? Don't wait. Start with one tiny action right now. You've got this.